Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.
Hello, race fans, and welcome to the Get Dirty MX post-race show. I'm JD Smith, Kane Craft with me, and we just got through with a wonderful race at Summit Point Raceway as we saw Marlon McMullen win a race, and the two-time defending champ did it in fantastic form, just beating out Sean Kelly. Both drivers very, very fast this week, and it was just a very entertaining race. Now after the race, we got a wonderful post-race show for you guys tonight. And I tell you what, it's got a lot of topics to talk about. And without further ado, I want to go ahead and bring in a few race drivers to have a chat with, and then we'll get some of these topics out in the open. Kane, you ready to get these interviews started, pal?
We are ready.
Well, without further ado, let me go ahead and bring in Sean Kelly. Sean, do you have a copy?
Yeah, hey guys.
And there he is, Sean. It's a pleasure to have you here on the Get Dirty MX post-race show. A fantastic job out there today at Summit Point, a track that we don't typically visit very often in the V8, and it was really exciting to see you guys out there. I thought you had a fantastic race, got a second place finish, but I'd say a drive that really deserved a victory. Tell me about your race today.
Yeah, she's a tricky little track, alright, and it's pretty easy to overdrive. I was driving okay, but yeah, in the second stint, the car was just really awful, just really, really loose, and I think my pressure's too high looking at them after the race, so I really should have prepared better, really. But yeah, Marlon did put a foot wrong, so I can only commend the job he done, really.
Yes, both of you guys had a fantastic race out there. It really was a two-car race at the front, and you both deserve a big pat on the back for that. A job well done. I tell you what, though, Sean, it seems each and every week you're given a really big threat to win a race, and I tell you what, that consistency is definitely going to pay off in the points throughout the remainder of this season. It's definitely going to be fun as the weeks progress. We head to mid-Ohio next week, and then, of course, the famed Bathurst for week 6, and then we're halfway through this season already. I tell you what, it really winds down in a hurry, so you're doing everything that you're supposed to put yourself in a position to win this thing.
Yeah, almost. I mean, I got one win, and I think Marlon's got 2, so I really need to pull out a couple of wins, really. And yeah, next week, mid-Ohio, as you say, and I didn't race last season there, so we'll see how we go. But I know Marlon will be strong there, so yeah, I've got to just prepare better and come back and hopefully stick it on pole and lead from the front if I can.
Yes, that definitely would help. At Mid-Ohio, getting a good position, track position is vital. And I think that if you could get out there and get the pole, buddy, you definitely would show that you have the speed to win out there, because I've seen a lot of drivers have some problems at Mid-Ohio. It's a tricky little track.
Yeah, it's really, really slippery from memory, and yeah, it's a great track in other cars, but yeah, it's really difficult in the V8 because there's just so many undulations and yeah, like I say, really slippy track. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's a sprint race.
Absolutely, Sean. Well, we definitely look forward to that next week, buddy. I'm going to go ahead and you can hang here in the show with us. I'm going to go ahead and pull in Sanjay Delilac to have a word with him. And let's go ahead and talk to Sanjay. Sanjay, do you have a copy, buddy?
How you going, boys?
Hey, there he is, Sanjay Delilac, everybody. And Sanjay, welcome to the Get Dirty MX post-race show. Got a good chance to get a good bit of some views from you tonight, Sanjay, out there in the Altitude Volvo. Did a fantastic job. Didn't start the race probably as high as you normally do or would have liked, but I saw you fall back and then work your way back up through the field very nicely, showing a lot of promise in your driving, Sanjay.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. Expected a bit better tonight, but I think I had contact with Andrew Green there on like 5 or 6 and bent my steering, so I struggled the whole race to turn the car, especially right-hand corners. Every single lap I was playing around with roll bars and just trying to get the car to work, but yeah, unfortunate. I mean, yeah, I I was hoping to finish a bit higher, but oh well, it's the way racing goes, I guess.
Absolutely. We had fun watching you and Andrew Green there in the Kermit Mobile. And it was a good job, Sanjin. I'd like to say that every time, I used to say it, and it's true, Kane saw you last week. Every time we jump out into a practice session, Kane and myself like to do so sporadically throughout the season. We'll just run and jump in a practice room, and it seems like every time that I jump in a practice room or him, we find you out there practicing, and that's just the awesome commitment, and it's really starting to show up in your driving. I tell you what, man, you just keep doing what you're doing. This is definitely going to be a big season for you.
Yeah, no, thanks, guys. Yeah, this week was a bit slack of me. I didn't get that much in, but yeah, hopefully next week get a lot more.
Absolutely, buddy. I'm going to keep kicking on through the Get Dirty MX post-race show. I'm going to go ahead and bring in here Graham Filan and chat with him. I'm going to keep you in here with us. So without further ado, let's bring in Bones. Graham, do you have a copy?
Yeah, how you going, boys?
Oh, fantastic, buddy, and always a pleasure to talk to you, Graham. A fantastic night tonight. Tell us a little bit about your day here at Summit Point.
Yeah, it was started 10th, finished 10th. Sort of the places didn't change, just the gap did. So I think halfway through there, I was running around by myself, and the kids were in the back going, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?"
And we all know how that gets, Graham. But I tell you what, though, you win none, you lost none either. So not bad. Just get out there. Did you have fun?
Oh yeah, and right near the end there, Martin Creamers came up real quick, and yeah, the last 3 or 4 laps, he was putting the pressure right on, and we had to brake real late for that end straight, and yeah, just ran him a little bit deep in the second last lap, and I got the gap that yeah.
Well, if you had fun, it was all worth it, because
yeah, no, it was good.
I tell you, out there watching you drive, Graham, you just get better and better each week, and you just keep doing what you're doing. You're heading down the right path. We've enjoyed watching the Altitude Volvo out there, and it looks really good. I was just talking to your teammate Sanjin, and he's really been working hard, and it's starting to really show. And I can see the same thing happening with you, buddy. I always see you each and every week get better and better, and
Yeah,
I know that just keep it going, man.
Yeah, with Sandy, he gets that I rating back up, he'll be fine. It's get him out of those Porsche races. We'll be fine.
I'm bored. I'm out.
That rough will be the death of you, Sanjin. You hear him?
Oh, I know what he means, mate.
It is
Never
tough.
again.
It is tough, Sanjin. These are, the two cars are very different, but it's our love for racing that keeps us in multiple cars. Trust me, I know that's one of my big problems, is that I can't stay in one car. I enjoy all of them, and I stay on the oval side, and then I'll jump to the road side, and I just need to pick one and really focus on it, and it's hard to do.
Yeah, I'm struggling to stay out of that Porsche. I wish I could delete it, but off my account, but unfortunately I can't.
See, for me, it's the BMW now. I've been waiting for that thing for years, really, and boy, it's here, and I love it. But let me go ahead so we can go ahead and start on our awesome. We have some pretty big topics to talk about tonight. Without further ado, I'm going to bring in Jim Davey. And Jim, welcome to the Get Dirty MX Post Race Show. Good to have you on the show.
Hey, buddy.
Absolutely, and we got a lot of things to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Marlon in here, too. We'll just go ahead and start the fun. I can't wait because I want to talk to you first, Jim. Marlon, welcome to the show, buddy. Glad to have you here.
Hey, guys.
Absolutely. Last week, we had a lot of different things we talked about, but the main thing we talked about last week was teams in V8's Americas Series. I think we're going to progress forward, and one of the things that I'd really like to talk about, we'll jump back on that maybe at the end of the show, but here at the very beginning, what I'd really like to talk about is Jim Davey was telling me a little bit about something a minute ago, and I'll kind of let him open this subject, and then I'll ask y'all what you think about it.
Oh, really? We're going there?
Yeah, Jim, I want to. We gotta have it. We gotta have it here on the post race show.
Well, as I was saying, I've been talking to, I think it was Kane. I don't remember which one of you two it was, but it was about how a little disappointed with iRacing recently. But I think I found a reason to renew my subscription. The Indy 500 was apparently canceled for today and tomorrow, and now they're talking about class action lawsuits against iRacing because of it.
Wow. So let me get this straight. All right, let me just make sure I got this straight. iRacing has canceled their Indianapolis 500 for today and tomorrow, and because of this, Indianapolis or the Indy is going to file a class action lawsuit against iRacing.
No, the members. Some of the members are very upset.
The iRacing members are very upset. So the attack of the members, okay, which is even sillier. Okay, so this is interesting. I'm sure there's different views on this, and I can see both views of it already in my head, but what do you think about it, Jim?
Well, I think it's funny. I mean, I can understand people being upset for practicing all week and buying the car for the one-off race and everything else because they're not really going to use it for the rest of the season. But I mean, if they're buying it for the race, they're going to buy it for next season anyway. So it's not like they're wasting their money. So I started chuckling when I started really reading it.
Yeah, that's I tell you what, there was a short big buildup for that race, Jim. They had rushed to get the DW12 Delara out, and had just released the version that was just for the oval, just for this race, and it gets here, and now it's gone. So we don't get to see it, and that's a really interesting way to look at it. Let me, Marlon, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I guess all the guys are entitled to get pretty angry about it because they pay for a subscription over the year, and iRacing promises these things that happen, but at the end of the day, to get it out within a week it's such a tight time frame, and there's a lot of pressure for the guys or the developers to get the things right, and unfortunately today we saw that iRacing wasn't unfortunately ready to handle the expected capacity of it, which brings a new car, which is always good for the service. But at the end of the day, iRacing has a duty and an obligation to provide us something. But other than that, the people have got to understand these things happen, and it's just a technical difficulty, and that's unfortunately what's happened today.
Absolutely, and that's another way. So in the end, Marlon, do you think that it is right for them to file a class action lawsuit against the service that they love and use?
I think a lot of people are probably going to end up with no points or going nowhere. At the end of the day, as I said, iRacing's a service. I don't know what the contract is. I don't work for them. We all haven't seen it. But other than that, people are entitled to do what they want. But as we all know, the internet, all keyboard warriors, they all say this and that. It wouldn't happen.
That's right.
I wanted to get us guys to file an action against them because they nearly spoiled our V8 race.
That's right.
Right down.
That's what I was fixing to say. We actually had drivers not in our race tonight because of this, and it's. Tell me about it, Bones. Tell me what you're fixing to say.
Yeah, well, we were actually in a qualifying session as it went down. People were getting the messages saying it's down, stay in the, and Marlon had just got his PB, which put him in front of Sean. So we were a bit worried that it wasn't going to count. So we were ready to file our own action.
Yeah, I'm with you. File
and a punching bag. Yes.
We're going to have to get some. We're going to have to go forward with that. File a class action lawsuit on the IndyCar drivers because there's just so many of them that they crashed the service. We almost didn't get to have our race, and it screwed up qualifying.
Yeah, if there had been a couple more, I could have been in the top split tonight. What the heck?
There you go, Jim. Now we have an argument.
We lost an entire qualifying session because of that.
Yeah.
All right, let's ask Sean what he thinks, and then Sanjin real quick, and then go ahead, Sean. What do you think about all this?
Yeah, like the other guys say, they pretty much covered it. It's under iRacing's terms to pretty much, see the service as they see fit, but you're gonna these guys just have to take it as a knock and move on, and I don't know. Yeah, I know. Obviously, iRacing want to put up a good service and want these races to happen, as much as their races themselves. So, I don't know. Maybe they'll get a part refund. I don't know, but yeah, like I said, it's a special event this weekend. But iRacing won't be happy, just like the users. So. Yeah.
That's really well said, Sean. Sanjin, really, any other thoughts on it?
I'm staying out of this one. I'm too scared to get sued in case I say something wrong.
I hear you,
Uh,
buddy.
no, nothing really. I'll stay out of this one.
I agree. We'll move on to the next topic in just a second. And but I tell you what, this is what I think. Honestly, I think that sometimes these guys get a little bent out of shape over nothing. The iRacing service is the best on a widespread, unless you're in the Red Bull simulator or the Ferrari simulator that we'll never see. This is the best service out there, and I think that what
Even
these
if you are, not to interrupt, but even if you are on the Red Bull simulator or the Ferrari simulator, you're not going to be racing against people from all over the world, and you're still not going to have that level of competition that we have here. So even put against those, iRacing comes far, far above.
That's right. And the thing is that I think that they need to realize, gentlemen, is that this is the best service out there in the world, and the more that they heck and peg at the great people of iRacing that put this service together for us. The one thing I love about iRacing is they don't half-ass anything. They do it. They do everything to the fullest, or they don't do it at all. And I know, yes, you can put the argument, oh, they threw the DW12 out there. Yes, it's one of the few times we've seen them really throw something out and renege on it, pull back on it. I think that what iRacing really wanted was they were on a time crunch with the real Indianapolis 500. They wanted to get this out with all their heart, and they thought that they could deliver, and at the end of the day, they couldn't. And I think that the members, instead of trying to get mad and throw down at the iRacing staff, I think what they should have done is just try to be a little more understandable. Technical difficulties happen. I mean, God knows Kane and myself have them every week, and it's just part of electronics. I mean, you guys get with computers, you're going to have difficulties. Things happen. You got to look past that. We have the best service in the world, and I love it. And I think that it's great what iRacing does. My fear is that with all these complainers, that they start complaining about stuff like this. So instead of iRacing worrying about getting it perfect and delivering a product that is completed, they'll start worrying about time and getting things out quicker and to please these people. But it's not what we could have had, a product that was built as good as it could have been. And that's just my thought on it. But
hey, you could be right. Now go ahead.
I was just going to say, let them go play a set of Corsa. It's online now.
That's right.
I'll start whinging.
Yeah, and
I don't. I mean, they're trying to get this car out for people are crying for this car for 2 years or so. All of a sudden, there's a drop of the hat. It's, oh, the car's here. Instead of saying, hey, this is great, the car's actually here, even though it was like basically a surprise for everybody. Now they're going to be ungrateful about it. I mean, it's pretty ignorant, if you ask me.
It is, and I think that a simple solution for iRacing, if I'm a member of the iRacing staff, a hierarchy, what I do is I send a formal apology out to the iRacing members and just explain what happened and the reason why it was not feasible to happen. And what I do is I throw up for the people that did purchase this vehicle, I throw up a fun series, a 24-hour fun series, and it's just strictly a fun series that changes tracks out for the rest of the season until they can start an official season with this car correctly. Just like, the V8. Remember when the V8 came out at the beginning of the build? So I don't even have to explain that story. It's a whole nother subject, but it's kind of the same thing. Sometimes.
Yeah, but with this car, it's specifically built for this particular oval. Apparently, I mean, it is the oval car. Don't have the downforce. So I guess they could switch it out between ovals. Put a fun thing up for the rest of the season in ovals. But
that's why they have a IndyCar Oval Series, and then they have an IndyCar Road Series. This is the oval car.
But the people, the complainers, really are a small portion of the iRacing community.
That's true.
And they are loud, and they talk a lot, and they make sure they post and complain and to where everybody can see it. But most people read those and say, man, what is the matter with you guys?
I think
don't you understand how complicated that this can be? And then to throw 1,200 iRacers into 15, 20 different splits, and you have such a big race, the possibilities of something going wrong. I don't understand how people can not be willing to understand the complexity of this thing. But
Another thing it also throws out there, it also damages iRacing's image. And before the race, I'm not sure, or after the race was canned, I'm not sure if you guys saw the iRacing face, but it was littered with people complaining, and iRacing actually had spent about half an hour deleting all the complaining comments, which is derogatory for the service and all the other guys who love the service and respect it.
Yeah, that is very true, Marlon.
And if iRacing had to cancel the Indianapolis 500, this is their biggest race of the year. If they had to cancel it, they are doing so with their head hung low, and they don't want to cancel this thing. They're doing it, and they're just as disappointed about having to cancel it as the users, the drivers.
Absolutely right. And so I think that's a great thoughts from everybody on this, and I think we'll put the lid on this and look for brighter days with iRacing. And speaking of brighter days, we talked a little bit about before the race about the possibility of we already know that we're getting the Holden. Now, my worries with the Holden is that when we get the Holden, we have a potential chance because we have not been told that we will be able to keep this Ford Falcon, and my fear is that we will lose the Ford. But hold on.
They have confirmed that we are keeping the Ford, and they are upgrading it.
Okay. Well, I was talking. What the reason I'm saying this is on a timeline type basis. But then, right, you're right, Kane. Were then told we would have it, which is very exciting. Well, then rumors start coming out that get even more exciting, that we may get even more manufacturers. It's strictly a rumor, and we talked during the broadcast, Kane, even about rumors in iRacing and how sometimes they come true, and most of the time they're merely dreams of people that never are even considered. And my thing is obviously the participation in this series will skyrocket when that Holden is released. I truly believe that in my heart, that this series will double in participation. I think that you won't just be able to join a V8 supercar race on a certain night at a given time. You will literally be able to get on the V8 supercar in an off time and be able to actually have an 8 or more car race. I do believe that will happen eventually. Now, what are your thoughts about this new Holden coming and the possibility of other manufacturers in the participation? Let's ask you, Bones.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fantastic. And another great thing is that they're going to be the Ford and the Holden are going to be even, so you can actually swap setups between the cars. The setup of the Holden will work on the Ford, so you can drive your favourite manufacturer and not worry about it being different like the GT series.
Absolutely. Now with this, it makes me very, very reminiscent or remembering. It's just kind of like what we see in the NASCAR iRacing series. You guys know that Kane and me also broadcast the NASCAR iRacing series on Wednesdays, and they have the Chevrolet, the Ford, and the Toyota. Now, what we've noticed is even when we had the Chevrolet and the Ford, it was fantastic. Okay, we had two, but we had an abundance of Chevrolets. Now, when they've added the Toyota, it's about split. We have a lot of Chevys and Toyotas and Fords. And what it does is we've really noticed the manufacturer battle has really made these races a lot more interesting. You not only have individual battles and team battles, you actually start to see manufacturer battles, and it's really neat. And I think that if we could get this in the V8s, it would be just tremendous to the helpful or to the added participation. I think that it would just be wonderful to have.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Look, Jim, what do you think about the added potential addition of what we're fixing to see here?
Well, I'd like it. I think any additions, especially to the V8, is a good thing, especially if it's actually drivable on circuits like Summit Point or We were actually looking at this. They've got Infineon, Road Atlanta, Summit Point, Mid Ohio, all back to back. We're like, what are they thinking?
This this schedule is definitely out there. Um, but
yeah, anything that makes it easier to drive, something like Summit Point or Mid Ohio, I'm all for it. I lost my race tonight because of that.
That's right. What do you think, Jim, about this new Holden coming in, potential other cars, as far as the way the car will drive and feel? I think that it will. I think it'll be a lot different than the way it drives right now.
Oh, absolutely. But I remember when the Cadillac first came out, and they were talking about the new car of the future for the V8, and they said, it's going to be a lot like the Cadillac on the service, where similar setup, power to weight ratio, tires, everything else. And that's actually, once you get used to it, it's kind of like the V8. It's a lot of fun to drive. And it's a lot tamer than the current V8 we have. And I think it would help these people, especially, you've got people that have a C-Class license, they're just starting out in that bigger cars, and you throw them in the V8 Falcon that wants to go backwards more than it wants to go forwards. I think it'll help people like maybe come into the service. I think it'd be a good thing.
After hearing you say that, Jim, that makes a big smile on my face. It's just been put, because I tell you what, the Cadillac is one of my favorite cars out there. I drove in the Global Series last year just because the Cadillac was so much fun. It does remind me in a way kind of the V8, but it's far from it. And if new car is going to just be similar to the Cadillac, then iRacers are in for a big treat, because I think that one of the deterrents to the V8 series is a lot of the, like you said, the C license guys that are coming up. They get the car and they get in the thing and they try to take it around a track to learn it, and they go, screw this thing, it doesn't drive like anything else on the service, this is too hard.
It doesn't drive. What are you talking about?
Right, it doesn't even drive. I hit the gas and all my back end does is go woo, woo, and that's it. And they give up and they never try it again. And I think that is something that will go away with this new car of the future model. Now, that's just my personal opinion. What are some of y'all's thoughts on it, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, the last couple of cars they've built have been pretty awesome, the BMW and the RAF, so they're getting better at building the cars. And obviously the current Falcon has got the spool diff, which makes it pretty difficult into and out of corners. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be a overweight, overpowered, under-braked car with no aero, so it's not going to be too different. It's going to be a little bit nicer to drive, but it's still going to be really, really loose and difficult to brake.
What a washing machine on wheels.
Yeah.
I think the rear end of it will be a little bit tamer.
That's what I think too.
Maybe a little bit, but in the real life series, it was a little bit looser to start off. It took guys a bit to adjust, so still going to be pretty loose. And also, we'll probably get a 4-way adjustable shocks, which will be quite cool for setups also.
Stop ruining my dreams.
Right. Well, I can tell you one thing. When the iRacers got the Gen 6 car from NASCAR, now I wasn't a member of iRacing when they first got the Gen 6 car. I had just before joined. This happened just before I joined, but I had heard a lot of guys talk about just how loose and undrivable that Gen 6 car was. But because of the popularity of NASCAR and that car, people dealt with it. And once they just released the new tire model on that car, it is so much better. And I think that I just think that we look at the latest releases of iRacing, obviously don't include the DW12. It's not a full release, but we look at the Rough and BMW, and just the product that iRacing has put out is flawless. It's phenomenal. I think that with each thing, what we're seeing iRacing release now is just a better product, I think, than what they have released in the past. I think it's getting better and better and better, and that is why I just can't wait to see how this Holden is.
Oh, you're gonna have to wait.
The cars, the cars are.
Yes, the cars are.
I wouldn't say much about the membership sometimes.
Yes, and that's a good point right there. That's a whole nother topic is memberships here. I don't know what the membership looks like right now, Jim Davey. Do you know what it looks like as far as the decline or incline?
I know that it's very close to losing at least one. I'm just, I
Wow.
just, I get disappointed sometimes with. iRacing's great 'cause it's got a sporting code, which it's like the rule books for any other racing series. The problem is, it seems like there's occasionally a selective enforcement of it. It seems like,
Right.
I
and
have seen that.
it gets very disappointing. Like, I mean, if someone's driving in an oval and you're on the backstretch of a race course and somebody makes a right turn on an oval and wrecks somebody else, I don't understand how it could possibly be anything other than it's intentional. But it's apparently a racing incident. It gets a little irritating after a while.
Yes, definitely.
JD and I seen in the race Wednesday, we seen on a yellow an intentional wreck, and I still
And
wonder if anything happened from that. I'm gonna have to
this
check on that.
and this is in the top split of the NASCAR iRacing Series Road to Pro, fellas. These are there's pros in this league. That is what we saw Wednesday was total retaliation, and it was uncalled for. And I said it on the broadcast. I said this is it's uncalled for. That right there, that driver should be suspended. And I don't know if they protested, but what happened was there was some slight contact during the race, and one of the drivers did not like it and showed his displeasure during the caution. He literally went and just nailed right into him. He just wrecked him on purpose, right in the infield. Went off the track and ran
And
him
he
into the
wasn't even the
infield.
one that started the wreck, so that was extra goofy.
Yeah, that's just a driver's stupidity. He didn't know what caused the wreck. He just took out his aggression on somebody. And I'm so glad, and guys, let me just say this. I'm so glad that we don't tend to have that as much or at all in the V8 Supercar Series.
Yeah, we do have a good series going here, and I don't want to be like a downer. It is really rare. It's really frustrating when it does happen, and they seem to be very generous sometimes.
Yeah, and you never want to see these sorts of things happen, but they will happen occasionally. But yeah, it's pretty rare in the V8s. But yeah, for these guys, well, in V8s or NASCAR, that do have these retaliations, if you get your head boiling and you're carrying grudges from week to week, it's just not a good situation to be in. You're always going to find yourself, yeah, they'll have incidents every few weeks if they carry that sort of mindset into the race. So yeah, I mean, these guys will get left behind or banned, hopefully.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, that's the thing is, you got to look at it like this, though, guys. I mean, and that's why I love hearing different opinions because you guys are what iRacing should consider to be their top members. You're considerate drivers. Y'all are very talented drivers, and you're not going to go into a race and just take people out. You're not going to go in there acting the fool. Y'all don't use a bunch of foul language in there. I've
Oh, I
heard.
wouldn't go that far. I've done that.
Well,
I've done that.
well, let me rephrase that. Y'all don't. You may have some, but you don't get nasty with it. I've been in some races that are just ridiculous. If somebody bumps into you, you're not gonna just cuss them out like just straight go nuts. I've been in some races where I just went on the microphone and I'm just like, guys, okay, you hit so and so, get over it or get out of here. Because it just drove me nuts. I almost couldn't concentrate on driving because people yelling back and forth at each other. It's annoying and there's no place for it. You can show your displeasure after the race or something, but it's just terrible. But enough with the terrible stuff here in IRA, because this is the best racing simulator on the planet, and I hope that we continue to see it grow. I really hope to see participation uh, climb up, and I hope that it does. I think that iRacing is heading down the right direction with their marketing. Like when they grabbed the Peak series for NASCAR, that was really big for them. I know that NASCAR is their baby, and that's what they're started on, but they have something special with their road stuff, especially with this GT3 cars. And I just
I,
hope that
I've got to. I try to bring it up a little bit. I'm browsing the iRacing forums, and when they were talking about the Indy 500, somebody asked if Pastor Maldonado was running the servers.
He crashed again.
Throw one in there. Oh boy. Well, I tell you what, guys, we've had a great show going so far. I tell you what.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least
win an Andretti name. I have to take it. I just think Andretti. Who's your pick on?
And all they do is turn left, but I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying all season, because eventually, right.
I think I really do. I think up her. She's on a great team. She's on Stuart Haas. She's got the support of Tony Stewart. She has the advice from Kevin Harvick. Gives advice to other drivers. So watch her. I agree with you, Jim. But
he just needs to help himself.
That's right. But I tell you what, her time of the show, I'll ask you guys: is there any hot topic?
Taking Oran Park out. I hate that track.
Yeah, Oran Park, I like the fact that they closed out with it last season. I thought that was cool that they did that, but I don't think it needs to be a staple in the season every season. I think that they
can. You said you were glad they closed the track, yeah.
No.
I think we will see Bathurst come out of the schedule next season.
Think so?
I think you're smoking something.
I do.
They usually only keep them in for 2 or 3 seasons, and then they rotate them out. I know Bathurst is kind of a staple, but
just like Phillip Island's been in every single series or every single season.
Yeah. Hasn't? I thought they ran a couple seasons without it also.
Nope, we actually ran it. I mean, Graham could remind me better, but we ran a full-length Phillip Island race probably about a year and a half ago.
No, I raced in that one. That one was fun.
And the week after, I think it was, they had it on the regular schedule.
Yeah,
I love Phillip Island. I love broadcasting it. I love driving on it. It's just a great track.
That was that full-length race was actually a lot of fun. I ended up in the top split somehow, and I almost wrecked. I almost wrecked Madison, I think it was.
All right, Sean, what track would you take out of all of these? Which one should we give the boot to?
Yeah. Maybe Oran Park, because I don't think I've ever had a good race here.
I don't think anybody likes
nobody
Oran
has
Park.
a good race.
Oh, I like it.
No.
Okay, there's
well, at least
one.
It was a sprint
Shut
race.
up, Graham.
Hey, I'm still slow. Not as slow.
Otherwise,
that's right. I was faster than you tonight. Don't forget it.
All right, if there's one track that has to be on the schedule other than Bathurst and Phillip Island, what is it? What's the one track that has to be on the schedule?
VIR, maybe?
Oh,
VIR?
that's a fun track, yeah.
Yeah?
Watkins
VIR,
Glen.
okay. There you go,
No.
Kane.
So tired of Watkins Glen.
There you go, Kane. Say what you will, Jim, but Watkins Glen, I have to agree with Kane on this one, provides some of the closest racing all season, every year.
Yeah.
It really does. It's the most exciting to watch as far as
Provides
guys,
some of the big chuckleheads.
Yes, it is true. And Chad Chastain tends to dominate there, but it really is fun to watch because you guys qualify so close to each other. You race close to each other. It's really fun to watch. It is.
I agree with Jim. Every race I've ever been in, I mean, I like it, but I do agree with Jim on that you can have some chuckleheads that can do the most boneheadedest things and take you out of the race. Every race I've raced there, I've been knocked out.
I think you even got knocked out by me one time.
Did I?
No. Maybe. I don't remember.
I was going to say, Chad better do well there. He lives down the street from the track.
Yeah, he sleeps there at night, I think. Well, boys, it's been a fantastic Get Dirty MX post-race show. I think we have time for one more quick word if anybody has something they want to say.
Just thanks for the broadcast again, guys. I know we say it a fair bit, but yeah, no, I'd really appreciate it, and it does make the series what it is. 30 drivers again for that this week.
That's awesome. It is, and we're not going anywhere, guys. As of right now, Kane will be out of town next week, and I don't have the ability to broadcast an actual broadcast. I can talk all I want to, but I don't have the broadcasting software capabilities, so I'm going to have to get somebody from V8 Online to help me out, or we may be without a broadcast next week, but that's just for 1 week only. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to find somebody to broadcast with me. One of the boys will step up over there in Australia.
Well, there's only one that's got the connection, and I don't think it's got the connection no more. That's why they're not broadcasting no more. So.
Yeah, I think it was Jay, and he's not doing it now.
Yeah.
Well, Seb.
Yeah, we've got
Seb was
snail
the one that
internet,
was
so-
doing the broadcast part of it, all the technical stuff, and Seb. I think he moved, and that's so.
Yeah.
When he did, they didn't have the fiber, so they're looking to try to get some more fiber so that they can start up broadcasting again. So I think we're going to probably be without a broadcast for next week's show. Maybe JD will watch it and come on to TeamSpeak and commentate it like a radio show, and then we can get that uploaded to you guys and have a radio broadcast of it.
You know what? That's actually a decent idea, Kane. I think what we'll do is we'll do a Get Dirty MX post-race show next week, and we can do it on here, and I can actually record it and make an actual podcast on it. I'm going to put that thing on iTunes. Free download.
Well, yeah, that way we can have something, even if you do a radio show, that, it'll still give me something to listen to at work when I get back.
That's it, man. Sounds good to me, guys. We'll figure it out in the meantime. Just check the forums. I want to thank all you guys that come and chat with us each week. We always have some interesting topics, especially this week. Kind of bashed on iRacing a little bit, but it's something that's always got its ups and downs, and I think hopefully it has a bright future.
I think we unbashed them.
We did. We kind of stuck up for them, and I think that's a good thing. I think that we need some more members like what we have here today, and that's I think we will. I think that iRacing will step up and will continue to grow in the right direction. We can get rid of some of those knuckleheads, as Jim Davey was saying.
Chuckleheads.
Oh,
Chuckleheads.
That's right. We gotta be nice. Don't want to get in trouble with iRacing.
Okay, chuckleheads. That's right. Absolutely.
Probably suspend me for that. I mean, people can turn right on an oval. That's all right.
You can't say chucklehead.
But you can't say chucklehead.
I'll never understand it fully, boys. Thank you so much for coming by for the Get Dirty MX post-race show. It's always a pleasure. We did talk a little bit about teams last week. No progress on that at the moment, but we'll continue to talk about that in the future. I think that's something that we really need to add. It's obviously too late in the season this season, but it's a big possibility for next season. I think that's something that we should really explore the possibilities.
Wait, what?
Oh, you got nominated too, Jim. We didn't tell you that.
Oh, wait a minute.
See, Jim wasn't here. You see, Jim, you just showed that you didn't watch the broadcast last week.
Hold the phone. Jim Davey did not watch the broadcast last week. And, Jim, let me just fill you in here a little bit. Let me catch you up to speed. We had our first Get Dirty MX post-race show last week, and we covered the entire topic was about how important it was to add a team championship point system to our wonderful V8 Supercars Americas Series. And then we had some folks nominate Jim Davey. And it was, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but we basically were talking about even if we had one, how would we do the points? And we decided that it would be just taking the top two from each team and counting their points. So if you have a 4-man or a 3-man or a 2-man team, it all counts the same no matter what.
Well, yeah, that's what we actually did it the first, I don't know, it's about 2 years ago we started doing the points. So about then we did team points also. The problem is the individual drivers is all automated, but the teams was nothing but manual and having to go back and cross-reference and check, and people saying, oh, I'm not really on that team, I'm on this team. And so I think I did it for like 2 seasons.
And we actually have that same problem because we show the team on the broadcast as well, and every week, and not in the V8s hardly at all. We had like Jake Brunton switch teams and a couple drivers switch teams, but it's usually in between seasons, so it's not really a problem. But on the NASCAR side, every week I'm getting emails, no, I'm not on that team, I'm on this team. No, I'm not on that team no more, I'm on this team.
We also have 32 drivers in the field and probably about 48 to 50 that alternate in the top split. So it's I can see why we have so many that do that, but I think in the V8 we don't have that. I don't think it'd be that big of a problem. I think that our teams are pretty concrete here. I think that now they will change. I think sometimes in between seasons, which is fine. But I think that I think it would be cool. I don't know, something to put up there in the.
It's something to explore. Now, Jim Davies has been kind enough to do the points for all his time, and he does a fantastic job. I think throwing team points on top of him as well would be a little much. I would like to find another volunteer to tackle the team aspect of everything, because I know it. He's got it. I know when I did the points for a league that we started out on, broadcasting on, I would spend an hour each week doing all those points. So I can't imagine that throwing the team stuff on there would really be a big challenge.
Well, I'll let a little secret out of the bag. The points actually only takes me about 10 minutes. Because oh shoot, I forget who it was now. I gotta go to my email page real quick. It was Darren Morris. He's not a racing member. He actually developed a spreadsheet to track the points for me, and it was great. And I just have to go and do a little bit of fidgeting for when people do the Thursday and the Friday race, because as we saw at the beginning of the season, somebody's like, oh, I actually did this many points. Well, yeah, you're right. I forgot to take your lower entry out. So,
okay.
So the individual is actually really easy for me. It's the team is all manual, because you have to go through, you have to figure out what each person was, what team they were on, whether that was the highest score for that team and stuff like that. I mean,
that is a lot of, yeah, it is. Maybe we can find somebody other than Jim Davey to step up to the plate and want to do that. I don't know.
I think Kane would be great for it, since he came up with the idea.
No, Kane's got his plate full. I will say that Kane does have his plate full. He does so much with the broadcast, getting us broadcast every week. I don't know. Maybe I can find a way to do it or something. We'll figure something out here.
Yeah, and it wasn't my idea.
It was my idea. It was my idea. I think that I just think it would add a little bit more to our already great V8's Americas Series, because we have so many teams. But what the heck for, man?
There's the big reason for what the heck for is they
help each other with setups, and I understand that point. But still, you gotta work together for a common goal and help see a teammate. Guys that always ride are great drivers that are always in 4th, 5th, 6th place, 7th place. They're not winning these races, but man, if they could help their team out, it means so much more to them. And I think that it's for them that we should do this. And I do
think that a team championship would really add another dimension to the series. I think
it really would.
And we came to that conclusion last week on the show. I mean, that's what we talked about on the show. But I just think that we already know that that's what we want. We just got to find a way to make it happen. And I think that we will. We got time before next season. Something we can explore. But I think that's it for tonight, guys. I think we got to close out our Get Dirty MX post-race show. It is really awesome. I thank you guys for coming. I think the show will continue to improve. I like the post-race show. We come across with some good topics, and it's good to hear you guys. We didn't have old loudmouth Marty Carroll in here this week. He got himself a new job, so I don't know if we'll see him for a week or two. But enjoyed having you guys in here. We talked about some great stuff, and we'll continue to do so. Best of luck next week, gentlemen, as we head out to Mid-Ohio to the sports car course and take our V8s out there and tear that thing up. Kane, it's been a great time. Enjoyed it tonight, guys. Make sure if you haven't had a chance, maybe you just joined us, rewind this bad boy and watch this second week of doing the Get Dirty MX post-race show, and make sure you catch out the race. We want to congratulate Marlon McMullen on his victory here tonight. Fantastic driving out here at Summit Point. For V8s Online, I'm JD Smith, Kane Craft with me tonight, and we want to thank all the drivers that came in: Graham, Jim Davey, Marlon McMullen, Sean, and also Sanjin Delilik was in here as well. Until next week, guys, we'll come to you live from Mid-Ohio. Y'all have a good night.
Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship